It's got some bars behind it.
Bars. Oh shit! All right, let me load up my audio here. All right, say something. Say some words.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check.
All
Check it
right.
to China, the Chinese chicken.
Check it out, China, the Chinese chicken. All right. So, Mister Rufus,
That's right. Rufus the villain here from Nerdy Bones. What's up?
I've got some questions for thy.
Hopefully, I got the answers. Like to be like completely honest, like with all the listeners, I'm like stoner full right now. So like I'm like coming at you hard or soft, whatever you prefer.
No
Like, yeah.
shit, don't come at me hard. No homo.
Whichever you prefer.
So, so we are the '90s nostalgics. I got Miss Sarah Bears here. Hi, Miss Bears.
Hello.
Hey, I'm glad you're with us.
Yep. I will be here for this.
And we've
I don't know
got-
what we're doing, but I will be here.
We've got Mr. Rufus the villain from
That's right.
motherfucking Nerdy Bones.
Say, I'll eat your kids. Yep. So.
Eat your kids, swallow their souls. So I got a few questions for you.
Alrighty.
All right, so first things first. We'll take it slow. You respond as you want to respond. You ramble as you want to ramble, good sir. No one's gonna cut you off.
All right.
All right. What did you like about the '90s?
Oh, dude. Honestly, the music.
The music.
Like that. Yeah, the music was like my big thing. Well, that's what I listen to mostly right now.
Okay.
Like I'm still rocking Korn, still rocking Cold Chamber. It's like one of my personal favorites that I listen to all the time is I catch flack for it, but you know how much I love Nirvana.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Nirvana's
Yeah,
dope
dude.
as shit, man.
Yeah, and to this day, I don't care what anybody says. I still listen to Insane Clown Posse. You can fuck off, whatever.
Nah,
But it's like if people don't like it, well, it's not their style, but whatever. But they've changed.
nah, they
but,
got some good shit there.
Yeah, the '90s was fun for me, and I also really enjoyed like the style, like the style of dress. You remember like the bell, like the fucking
yeah,
tube,
clothes.
the tube bell pants I used to wear all the time. You
Oh
know?
yeah, the fucking Gencos. Fucking Gencos, man. Dude, you don't have to tell me about that. Like, I'm still rocking fucking baggy britches
That's
in
right.
my old age, and everything I'm surrounded by is motherfuckers wearing skinny jeans and shit. So you
Right.
don't gotta tell me anything
Yeah.
about that.
That shit kind of blows my mind. It's like, because where are you keeping your package at that point?
Dude, they're rocking skinny jeans and then they're sagging it, and I don't get it.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
not only that, but how do you just feel comfortable? I'm
know,
a woman
yeah,
and I don't
especially
even
here,
want the skinny
especially here in
jeans
parts
on.
unknown.
You couldn't run away to save your life. Like you're a prison package right there. That's some prison pussy just waiting to get fucked.
Might as well be fucking shrink wrapped.
Seriously, you're like a fucking gimp. It's like fucking Pulp Fiction. Boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom. You just come out the
We're-
box.
We're gonna take away the movement of your knees and ankles and hips.
Yep.
Run before we fuck you.
Oh, and your butthole's exposed. Oh, this is easy.
Oh God.
That's funny, man. But it's like like you look at us now, and the three of us are, dude, we're in our 30s,
Yeah.
and you look at kids. Like I personally look at like kids nowadays and like the music they listen to, and I feel like my dad. I'm like, God, this is fucking stupid. Like, what the hell? They have no I work with this guy he's like 19 years old, and I brought up Fraggle Rock, and he thought I was making it up.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. I try and fucking rock, like, just references to, like, just movies, TV shows, just anything, just trying to crack a joke, and it just falls on deaf ears, dude. People look at me like,
what
what
do
are
you
you
guys
talking
have for
about?"
a fucking background? It's like, what do you guys have for a background reference? Like, you don't what? Like, what?
seriously. Like, and I'll just be like, did you ever watch TV? And they're just like, yeah, like Netflix.
Mostly YouTube.
YouTube, Netflix.
Mostly YouTube videos. Oh, you mean Good Mythical Morning? No, I don't mean that.
So
Sorry.
did you like games back in the day? Like in the 90s?
Oh, good question. Good question. Like, one of my favorites, you know this, to this day, I'm still huge into Magic the Gathering.
Right.
Yeah, like I play in the to like connect those dots there is like I've been playing it online lately.
Okay.
Which is
Through
really
like an
interesting.
app, or like how are you playing this?
Well, it's called Magic Duels. It's completely free game, but the thing is you have to play and earn booster packs. Like you start with like this core set. You don't get anything else unless you win games and get coins, and it costs 150 coins to get a booster pack, and that's how you start to diversify your deck.
Oh shit! So is this
Yeah.
like through an app or is it? What is it?
Well, I've been playing on an Xbox.
Oh, on Xbox. All right, that's
Does
cool.
it
Cool.
like pair you with people of your
Oh, yeah,
same
yeah.
kind of ranking?
Well, here's the cool thing about it: is you can do solo battles where you're just playing the AI.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is the max you can earn is 15 coins. That's the max you can earn.
Like in one match?
Yeah, but if you play online, you can throw up an ante. Like, you know, like here's 50 coins says that I can kick your ass.
Right.
You know, and that's, you know, and then you can run through somebody 3 or 4 times and get a booster pack and get new cards.
Yeah.
So are you like capped out on like a level or like a bank?
No level cap. It's what it is it's all about your card collection.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
how it pairs you up to other players.
Yeah, it's there's no like filter of like how many cards they have against how many cards you have.
Well, that's cool. That way you're not
Yeah.
just constantly raping people who have like shitty decks.
Right. That's what I would be concerned about, is being like new to this game. If you're
Right, you jump in there for
3
the
years
first
later.
time, and then you're just getting fucked left and right. You're like, oh, this is boring.
Right.
I don't
Right.
even get a chance.
Well, like my main what they call a mechanic. My main mechanic is called direct damage or DD.
Okay.
And this was developed in the 90s as its mechanic style, and it kind of like fell out because people like kind of stopped using it. But it's like OP if you do it right. What direct damage is okay. I'm just going to give to the listeners just a quick understanding. You have a life point set. They have a life point set. You have to defend it and do damage across the board. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So direct damage is you play this card and there's no way to negate that damage. It's like 5 damage, 6 damage, 7 damage. So I've got a deck right now that's like within like 7 cards I can do like 21 damage and you only get 21 life points. So
oh, okay.
so it's like there's no way to negate direct damage. But anyway, the other games I've been playing, I've been doing Elder Scrolls Online. Have you played any of that?
Yeah, we played a little bit of that.
I had a brief touch with that. Yeah.
That one in particular for me is interesting because you can like you can start crafting, you can start dueling, you can start it's like a whole world to live in. And what it makes me think of is are you guys familiar with like Ready Player One?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah. Well, have you read the book?
I haven't read the book, but I've listened to the audiobook.
There, good enough. Good
Yeah,
enough.
it's like the same thing.
Right.
Same
yeah,
words.
Right.
Good and well, the book, you know, the audiobook is amazing because I have to be upfront. Myself, the way I went through it was the audiobook.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, you know, that's the way I digested it.
Yeah, I
But
love
you know, like
audiobooks.
the Oasis is something that's coming, don't you think?
Oh, definitely, man. They're becoming just more and more with the technology. Like now they have that whole Oculus thing where you don't even need a fucking computer. You just strap it on your face. Like,
Right.
It's
Well,
on its way.
Well, they have that shit with cell phones too.
Yeah. It's on its way, man.
Like, so like you threw me a question. I'm gonna throw one at you. Do you think the world's kind of running into the point to where it's going to become a virtual world? Like to where that's just like
definitely. It's
where
going to
people-
be.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is like that's where people do their business. That's where people go to school. That's where, you know, like you don't have to leave your house. You just live your life in the quote unquote oasis.
Yes, honestly, as sad as it may seem, I believe we're inevitably headed towards the Wall-E state, where we're just going to be in these
Yeah.
floating rascal scooters. Everything's going to be handed to us. We're not going to have to leave that fucking floating rascal scooter and just, yeah, man, everything's going to be
Just
fucking
gain-
handed to us.
Just gain weight.
Exactly. That's all you can do
No
because you're just
thanks.
going to be stuck in a chair, just absorbing everything, whether you have a VR visor on or this thing just carries you around from entertainment to entertainment, distraction to distraction. That's what
Dude, you
we're gonna
literally
be in.
took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say distraction to
Yep,
distraction.
that's all. That's all really entertainment and everything is. It's just distraction. We're
You know
all
what's gonna
just
be
being
weird?
distracted until we fucking croak.
Is if like we do hit a state of basically constant VR, right?
Mm-hmm.
What
The
about like
Matrix.
your job? Do you think there are going to be jobs in VR?
That's where
Well, definitely.
Well, so take like Ready Player One, like how that one guy was like posing as a girl the whole time, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, what if you just basically solicit for your job? Like, you know?
What do you mean? What do you mean solicit? You mean like sex work or
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
just anything.
Yeah. Well, like
Well, I mean,
in the book in
using
particular.
your like character in that
Right,
sort of
yeah,
way,
exactly.
you know,
Using
like
your avatar.
making someone feel not so alone, but in
There you
VR,
go.
you know, like
Well,
you think that's a job?
Oh, I'm
Well, you're
sure
talking.
it is.
That's
Well,
weird.
you're talking about escort work.
Yeah,
Like, and-
but I mean,
yeah.
you're not technically having to do anything because you're in a VR world. You just got to
Right.
talk the talk, you know?
Shit.
And
If
then
if I made money, I would code my voice to sound like a girl. and
Exactly,
fucking go
that's
hang
what
out
I
with
was
somebody.
about to say. Because you think about it, there's programs now that can take, like, say, the president's face,
Right.
and you can make him say whatever the fuck you want him to say.
Because this is the best wall. This is the best place.
Exactly,
This is the best code.
exactly, and it doesn't even need to be him. It's just software doing it. So if you
Right.
can have software, present you as something else than what you are, and that's how you're going to create currency. Because you can pretend to be a beautiful woman even though you're a 700-pound man in a fucking
Right.
basement somewhere. It doesn't matter.
And then it's going to turn into that Black Mirror episode where
Oh.
the dudes.
Oh,
Oh wait, should I?
did you see that Black Mirror? Did you see?
No,
did you watch Black
no, I
Mirror?
haven't. It's okay. I'm one of those random people that don't mind spoilers.
Well,
I'm
we
not-
don't
I'm not gonna
really
care.
watch a lot of like the hip, trendy stuff, but we watch Black Mirror. Not
we
all of
kind of
it.
we go in
We, like-
between
yeah, we,
episodes
like,
because each
skipped, like, the
episode is
second
different.
season, I think, and
Yeah.
we jumped into the third season, and the third season got weird, and basically, it's pretty much what we're talking about now with the whole Oasis thing, throwing on
Okay.
VR and whatnot. But these people can strap in and play games against each other online. Only you're basically in virtual space,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
so
So
you're,
they were basically Street Fighter characters.
yeah, like
Wow.
let's say they're playing like a Mortal Kombat Street Fighter game, and these two friends are playing against male friends are playing against each other, and you're completely immersed in this, and you feel the hits, you feel the kicks, everything, and these dudes start fucking. Spoiler.
Well, one guy was playing a girl character.
And these dudes start fucking.
Dude, one dude is a girl character, one dude is a dude character, and they wind up, like round ends or whatever, and just start macking down and getting down, and it's like they're gay in this whole virtual space. Like, oh god, it's like horrible, but at the same time you gotta watch it 'cause it's like it is what it is.
It's like looking into the sun.
Exactly, or a car accident. Like you can't look away. Like it's happening in front of your eyes.
I think it's an interesting perspective because I mean it kind of ties into that. What if you are working in like some escort kind of VR world, and I mean no one needs to know you're a dude, I guess. Like
Well, like think about like call centers like in the 90s. Like you could have been a very feminine dude and just had a female voice and nobody would have known the difference.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
You get what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I'm just like piggybacking on what you're talking about. Like it's there's the whole virtual world is something that like I wish you guys could see my hands. I'm like literally doing this like
Oh, trust me, I can picture it. I know
Yeah. It's just like one of those things. It's the wave of the future and all that, but there still has to be some like humanity at the end of it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
I just think it's going to be
If
so
that makes any
weird.
sense. Say that again, Sarah. I'm sorry.
I think it's just going to be so weird, like trying to think of like potential jobs in like a VR world.
Yeah.
Like, is someone going to have to feed your avatar? Are you going to have a chef in that game? Like,
that would be me. That would be me.
All right, so one of my questions was at the same time, we're kind of in this already. So I was like, I had a question for you, tech versus now as opposed to then as, in the 90s. So we're talking about present tech, future tech. Like, what was your take on tech in the 90s? Like what's
dude.
different about now?
Dude, okay, well, think about like when you and I we were like 14, 15. We got those like Nokia phones with the like the snake game and stuff like
Fucking
that.
cricket phones. That was
Love
all
the
you
snake
had was
games.
a goddamn snake game. Yep.
Compared to that, look at what we're doing right now. we're talking to each other over the internet.
Oh yeah, and we could use our phones.
We're not even in the same fucking place, dude.
Yeah.
Right, talking about virtual reality.
Like we could talk to each other face to face, with video chat if we wanted to right now. Play games against each other right now over the internet. Like, yeah.
Well, then, like you and I, before we did the episode tonight, we spent almost an hour just like being dinosaurs, like trying to hook this like interface up, and we did it. We did it. But like you're like click this, click that. I'm like, oh, dude, oh man, I'm fucking.
Right, and it's like at the same time, it's like I wish I could see what you're seeing, but I can't duplicate it over here because your computer's doing something different. So I'm like scratching my head, you're scratching your head. We're like, fuck it, we'll get it. But
we figured it out. Like the one thing I want to say is, are you guys? Oh, I'm sure you're familiar with the movie Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, we saw the newer one too.
Well, that movie takes place in 2019.
I know, that's such a trip, dude.
Yeah.
Even like Back to the Future, like it's just so.
That was 2017.
It's so crazy watching the older movies where they predict the future, where it's like, oh, we're gonna have this kind of technology and this and that, and we're like, where is it? Because it's not here.
Right.
Well, like think of the Jetsons. The Jetsons took place in 2020. It was 2020.
Yeah.
Like so.
We don't got flying cars. We're not.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Like next year, we're supposed to be able to like fly in a pod, give a little fucking money pod to our children, and send them out the bottom of our car.
Exactly.
And like go to the mall, and then. But the thing is about the Jetsons, it actually predicted an apocalyptic world, if you think about it, because everything was on a platform, because everything below was destroyed.
Oh yeah, it was fucked. They were living above the fucking atmosphere that we ruined.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think a lot of people like put a lot of thought into that. Like, the Jetsons was pretty dark, man.
It really was.
Yeah, like that's that brings me like, because I'm like. Like I'm podcast brain, just like your podcast brain. What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
God, I had so many, but like I said, if I had to like sum it up into one, God, I couldn't even really do that. But I'd have to say, right? I know it's rough. Right? But like as far as the '90s, I'd have to say it was Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, dude,
like that
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy is my fucking Batman. Every time I read anything or see anything,
yes, sir.
Batman, I hear his voice.
Ronnie, I wish you could see me. I've got two fucking fingers two hands doing the fucking devil horns. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
No, everything. Dude, like when the first game, like the Arkham games came out, like I was just blown away. I was like, thank God they're using his voice again. And then when they did the more, adult cartoons, the animated movies that they were putting out, and they were having him use the voice, I was like, fuck yes. They're giving him fucking
I didn't realize it was the same
they're
guy.
giving him work. They're keeping him going. That is fucking Batman.
Well, like, I can't even begin to tell you, like, the nerdgasm I had when I found out that Luke Skywalker is the Joker.
Oh, I know. When I found that out for the first time,
like,
dude, it blew my fucking brain. Like, I couldn't even picture it. I'm like, there's no fucking way. And then I, later on, seen him actually doing the voice work, and I'm like, holy shit, that is fucking Luke Skywalker.
Right. It's like, wait a minute, it's like you have to like put life on pause for a second.
Seriously,
like what?
Yeah, like
what?
We did a podcast about the Batman animated series, and I was talking about it.
I would have been on that one.
And I was like, dude, if they could redo just a Batman, just any kind of movie, just even revamp the whole, the movie, even if they started it all over or whatever, even if it was CG, everybody else was actual fucking live actors, and they just fucking CG'd a Batman and used Kevin Conroy.
That's right.
I'd be fully fucking satisfied with that.
Dude. Like you said, when I read a Batman comic book, it's Kevin Conroy's voice.
Exactly.
It's period. That's all there is to it.
He just fits it to a T. It's amazing.
Yeah, like, have you ever seen him do like live action voice work of it?
Oh yeah, dude. I've watched so many YouTube videos and interviews and just I've seen all that shit. All right, so let's jump into movies. What kind of movies? Like, we're not gonna do like let's not list like every single movie, but just some of them just rattle in the top of your brain. Like, what are your favorites?
I've got one that before you even finish the sentence, one popped right into my head.
All right,
Tremors.
Oh, do you love Tremors? Tremors is
dude.
so dope. Dude, I have the
Yeah.
VHSs of all the Tremors.
Yeah, dude. Tremor. Like, did you know I think they made like 5 movies.
There's so many. The
Yeah.
newest one was what they were like in a fucking snow,
Oh,
like in Antarctica.
They were in Alaska.
Yeah, there
They
you
were-
go, Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
crazy.
I will watch them all faithfully.
Oh yeah, dude, they're
They like
good
it smell
entertainment.
like that because it's dead.
Mm.
No, we killed it. We killed it.
We
Fuck
killed
you.
That was the first time I ever learned about a fucking elephant gun.
Smell like that because it's dead. Like, come on, man. Like, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know Tremors, you need to do yourself a favor.
Seriously, fucking watch that shit.
Yeah. And then, okay, so after Tremors, I would have to go RoboCop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then after RoboCop, probably Lethal Weapon.
Oh,
Those are
yeah.
good.
Yeah, and then after Lethal Weapon, I'd probably have to do Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, dude. Fucking
Yeah,
love
yeah.
fucking Evil Dead, dude.
Yeah.
I have like almost every version, like the VHS versions, plus like the DVD, like special editions and shit that I found over the years and stuff of just the Evil Dead. I have so
Yeah.
many copies of it.
So we're having an awesome report here. I'm going to throw one back at you. 90s horror.
90s horror?
90s horror. 90s horror.
I really
Like-
love the Scream collection.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
Scream,
Hell yeah.
Scream. Is
And then like the scary
I'll
movie
be
collection
right
after
back.
that. Oh my
Right?
god.
fucking
Hilarious.
scary movies. Oh shit, those are great. Those are fucking great. I love how
Yeah.
they play on all the fucking classic fucking horror films and shit, and
Mm-hmm.
just completely make fun of them. Like, oh man, they hit the nail on the head when they did the fucking.
Grab my strong hand.
He's all mixing the mashed potatoes with the fucking.
What's he say when he touches it? He's like, my germs, my germs.
My germs,
Yeah.
my germs.
And then oh man, I know what you did last summer.
Oh, hell yeah.
man.
Dude, Sarah, fuck yeah.
Fucking hook hand.
You're bringing the fire.
Yeah. Those are like my favorite horrors like ones, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Just Army of Darkness is probably
Dude,
just
yeah,
my
right
favorite
there
of
with you,
all.
brother.
Like it's so over the top, so over the top.
This is
Like,
my boomstick.
this is my boomstick. Fucking Bruce Campbell at his best. It was like the series just came to a fold right there. Like,
That's
it
the
just-
one where he goes back in time, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
medieval
Yeah.
shit, and they're just
It's got a-
blown
it's
away
got
by everything. Oh man,
It's got a walnut stalk with a hair trigger. You got that? You primitives!
shop smart, shop S smart.
Next one of you, what does he say? Next one of you, blah, 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 touches me. And then he shoots a dead eye coming out of the well. Next one of you primitives even touches me.
So we touched down on games. We touched down on some movies. Like what TV shows? What kind of live action TV shows?
Oh,
did you like?
dude, you're priming the gear right here. Okay, so I realize that there's people that's gonna like hate or whatever. You know my love for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm sorry, we did a whole episode on Nerdy Buns about Power Rangers.
Right.
That's just something that I love. And I did a lot of research for the show that we did, which comes the derivative show is actually called Super Sentai. And the thing is like all the actors that we know as Americans never actually were in the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well they did their own type of if the story kind of led them up to have a scene, they would do it. But the whole thing it was that they actually did the voice for the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, whatever. But the whole thing is what Saban Entertainment did is they would take clips from different seasons of Super Sentai and put a show together that wasn't even close to what the original thing that they did. They pieced together and puzzled together their own show out of the action scenes.
So did they basically do voiceover work?
Yeah, that's what Power Rangers was. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. For almost 6 years. Oh, and then Saban Entertainment actually started paying Suki Levy, which is the guy that owned Sentai, started paying him to make extra scenes for them to put voice work to that didn't have anything to do with that show.
Right.
All right. Quick quiz. What ranger did they kill off?
Okay.
What ranger did they kill off and have to, kind of fake with somebody else and a quick little put together little fucking plot episode to basically kill his character?
Are you talking about Mighty Morphin?
Yeah.
See, that's a hard question because
There was somebody who they killed off, and then they basically that character, that actor was being mistreated. He didn't fucking like it. He didn't like what they were doing.
you're talking about Billy.
He wanted to dip out. Basically, the cure for him was some water that was on another planet.
Yep. You're talking about Billy, dude.
Yeah, and they couldn't fucking heal him, so he had to stay on the planet, and they pretty much erased him from the series.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, here's the big thing, is he was openly gay,
Right.
and they discriminated against him.
Yeah.
They basically, they cut his pay, they cut his episode
they
times.
fucked him over
What
bad.
the hell? They cut his pay? Like, after
Yeah.
they found out
Yeah.
he was gay?
Yeah, they were fucking him over
Yeah.
bad.
Wow.
But still, you can go to any like they call it like Power Morphicon, stuff like that. He's still, like, any fan like me, he's still the Blue Ranger. It doesn't matter. Like, you can go and get your picture taken with him and get an autograph. He's still the Blue Ranger.
Yep,
Doesn't
yep.
matter. Doesn't matter what Saban did. It's garbage. But
That's
like
crazy.
it's. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, that's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, it was the '90s, and people didn't fucking understand or care.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one TV show from the 90s, live action, that was all you can watch on this deserted island, what would it be?
Okay. All right. You have to let me marinate here.
All right, even it doesn't matter how many episodes, how many seasons, syndication,
90s
what
TV
have
show.
you. Live action.
Do you want to know my
Live-
answer?
What's your answer?
Star Trek The Next Generation.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's my girl.
Oh my god.
That's my
I
girl.
love that.
Here's you know what? I actually have my answer.
All right.
Firefly.
Okay.
Wasn't that pretty
But
short
I was
season?
gonna say, is that enough to sustain you on a desert
Yes,
island?
it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I've watched every single episode, the 13 episodes that exist. I've watched them over and over again and memorized every single fucking are you guys familiar with the series The Expanse?
The Expanse.
I don't
Negative.
think so, no.
Okay, just dropping a little knowledge, fucking check it out. It's a book and a TV show on Amazon. The big thing that
Is it Amazon only? Is it like an exclusive or?
Yeah, it's only the TV show is only on Amazon, but the book is
okay.
Yeah, long story short, it's oh man, I'm gonna fucking tell you what The Expanse is.
Go ahead, tangent.
Okay, so what The Expanse is the humans had to leave Earth because of overpopulation. So it's been over 300 years since humans have left Earth, and there's 3 different factions of humans. They call them Earthers, Belters, and Spacers. So humans live on 1G. You get what I'm saying? You following so far?
Following.
Okay, so Belters live in the asteroid belt around our specific solar system. So they live on a smaller G, so they get bigger. So they're tall. And then you have Spacers, which live on different spaceships and whatever. So the whole thing is there's a war that happens between the humans, or the Earthers, Belters, and Spacers. And they all have these dope ass ships. They all have these my tangent lost itself because I'm how excited I am about it.
It's all right. So there's a lot going on in that world.
Yeah, dude. And the cool thing about that world is every section. Okay, so you guys are familiar with the asteroid belt, right?
Right.
Think how big it is. Each section of that belt was colonized by different sections of the world, so they all have different accents, and then their accents change. Yeah, so it's pretty fucking dope.
Wow.
But anyway, where are we at, brother?
All right. Next question. What did you like about girls from the 90s?
Oh my god!
Oh god.
Like, dude, like anybody that knows me knows that I love fucking red hair.
You love pocket-sized girlfriends.
Yes, I did, because I can put them in my pocket and I can go to the store.
Yeah. He used to, because it was the thing. He used to wear those, those big ass Jenko pants,
Right.
that had
And I
pockets
would
that
say
go
that,
all the way
pocket-sized
down to your
girlfriends.
ankles. So if he could put a girl in his pocket and that girl's head would just poke out, that was his
They're like,
girl.
hey, what's up? It's like, I'm a marsupial. Well, like the big thing I loved about girls in the '90s was like they fought, like the girls that I was in the crowds with, like kind of followed my stuff that I liked. They like
Right.
the same. They like the same music. They like the same. Like this. The shitty thing about '90s girls is there was no nerd girls, man. At least that I didn't
Everybody
meet.
was closeted, man.
Yeah, well, it's like it's only now that it's cool to be a nerd.
Yeah.
It's like
Everybody
if you
wanted to
were
be the cool kid.
if you were a girl and you knew who the Silver Surfer was, you weren't going to say anything.
Oh no.
Like so like that was like the big thing for me. Like anytime like I would like break down a girl's barriers and they're like, oh yeah, fucking Wolverine's a badass. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna marry you.
I'm gonna marry you. You made my
Like,
dick twitch so good.
Again, like you made me tingle.
So we brushed on clothing of the 90s. Now,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything that you'd want to bring back clothing wise to
Well,
today?
That's a good point, man. Like I really enjoyed the headwear.
Okay.
Like remember visors and stuff.
The visor, your fucking Power Man 5000 goggles.
That's right, man. I'm like, dude, how much did I wear that shit?
You wore that shit all the time. You fucking had your hair all fucking spiked up, all fucking blonded out. Yep, it was all bleached out.
My hair just to look like fucking Spider
This
Zombie.
Motherfucker
I did that
was
on
when worlds
purpose.
collide.
Yeah. I did that shit on purpose.
Chris is over here shaking her head. Yeah, she was a big Power Man 5000 fan.
Dude.
Still is.
Yep.
Hey, what's your favorite PM5K song?
Oh man.
No wrong answer here. No wrong answer here.
I really like When Worlds Collide.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Oh my god, I wish I could give you a high five.
She went to a concert by her lonesome and actually sat there, basically like corner front row, just to watch him, just by herself in town.
Yep.
Me too. Like, I love PM5K. Like their new stuff kind of is like, I'm gonna use this very fucking hipster phrase. Their new stuff is fucking pedestrian.
There's like one or two songs out of maybe his last 3 years that are like okay, like they're catchy, but they're not like what he used to make.
Yeah.
See, that's the same thing with a lot of artists, though. I feel like almost like artists, when they come out with new shit and they know they fucking have something, they need to bank a bunch of music. They need to make several albums,
Right?
Because that's the thing with everybody. You
So hit 'em
find
with
somebody,
content.
exactly.
Hit 'em with content.
You find them. You want them for that one thing. You
Yeah.
hear it, and then it's what happens to everybody. You're always like, oh, they don't sound the same. They sound different. And so that's the thing. If you're in that fucking mode, rock out as many tracks as you possibly fucking can.
Right. I think
And
that's
just-
why I love Atmosphere so much, because it's
Oh,
like
hell yeah,
I can listen
hell
to
yeah.
his station on Spotify for literally hours and
they're-
hear so many songs I've never heard.
Yeah, they're very, very few and far in between of like just bands or period that will keep the same similar sound. Everybody kind of
Right.
drifts off.
Because you got to change, otherwise people. are gonna stop.
You got to go with the times, but at the same time, a lot of people don't even want that. They want you to
Yeah.
sound like how you originated from.
So I've got a '90s kind of thing to say here, but like I don't know if you guys are both fans, but are you guys familiar with Static X?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you know of the death of Wayne Static.
Yep. Very recent.
Yeah, and there's a tour going on right now, the Wisconsin Death Trip tour, with this guy that's amazing. This guy is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Is he like one for one or what?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is he like one for one sounding like him or?
He is the closest that somebody could sound like. That's because Wayne is so unique.
Yeah.
Nobody could ever sound
So
like
is
him.
it kind of like that what was it, Leonard Skinner situation where he passed away and then someone took up after him and couldn't
That's
really tell the
exactly what it
difference?
is. Yeah, that's
Well,
exactly
that's
what
good
it is.
enough.
Like, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's good
I'm
enough.
sorry. You just like cut out. My bad.
That's all right. That's good enough. I mean, shit.
Yeah, but like I highly recommend to any of the listeners, like if you're a Static X fan, definitely check out the YouTube videos of that tour. It's pretty amazing. Like he wears a mask, literally wears like a leather face mask.
Yeah.
That is Wayne Static with the hair and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
You know, like
awesome.
you know the song "Push It."
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah. That's one I would recommend. Just check that out.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
All right, so now let's jump into vehicles. Vehicles from
Oh,
the 90s
ooh,
as
ooh.
opposed to what we're dealing with now. We got self-driving electric cars now. Now, what is your take on vehicles from the 90s?
Well, that is like, dude, I'm gonna go ahead. Like, this is not exactly what you're saying, but who of our generation did not want a DeLorean?
Dude, DeLorean is like all I fucking wanted when I was a wee lad.
Yeah, exactly.
That seemed like a Jetson mobile.
Exactly. Well, then, like, what you're talking about, like, you're thinking about, like, Teslas and shit like that. Like, if we take away the practice of driving, we get into, like, there was a movie I saw recently. Oh, have you seen Upgrade?
Nope.
Upgrade. That's the one where the guy has, like, robotic limbs or
Yes,
some shit? Yeah, I haven't
yes.
seen it yet, but yeah, I want to see that.
What, dude? Telling you right now, watch it.
No, seriously, I want to watch it, but I just
Yeah,
haven't caught
but,
it.
like that. The only reason that comes into this conversation is like this guy and his wife are on the road, and shit goes down, and they don't have the ability or knowledge of how to like fucking grab the controls and drive. Like
That's awful.
Yeah.
yeah,
Not good.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what
But,
you're
yeah,
saying.
like-
You're like a
yeah, like-
fucking preteen, like, oh, I'm gonna take a car for a drive, but I don't know how to fucking drive.
But I have a 15-cylinder, blah blah blah.
Right.
And and the gas is on the fucking pedals on the floor, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And, like that's basically the long and the short of it. But like my big thing is like I've seen so many, because I read a lot of comic books and a lot of like sci-fi novels, and I've seen so many like images of like people just like being in a pod where this vehicle is just taking them to one place or the other. But what if something goes wrong?
Exactly. What if something goes wrong?
Yeah, you need to like think about like okay, like when I listened to a podcast called The Confessionals, which I highly recommend,
Right.
which I'm actually going to be on Saturday.
Nice.
But they're talking about this. They call it a DUM. It's a deep underground military base, and they have monorails. If you buy into this, blah blah blah. If you buy into this,
Okay.
they have monorails going between these DUMs that travel at quote unquote light speed. Imagine being in Amsterdam and then traveling to New York and something going wrong.
You're fucked.
Exactly.
You're underground,
I feel like,
you're
did
under
we
the
just
ocean,
see-
you're fucked.
Did we just see a commercial or a like a theatrical commercial
I couldn't tell you right
for like a
Pretty
show
fucking
or a
drunk. My brain's
movie or
not
something like
now.
that?
Capping that.
Well, they were like rolling
Love
these
you,
little balls, remember? And they're going from like this little like tunnel system, and they're popping out, and then they have to go back in. And
Yeah, me and you are over here, Keith. We're just like,
it exists, man. I'm gonna
it
look it up.
exists.
Think you're making it up.
Yeah, she's got the dude. Last night I had a fucking weird ass dream. Well, I have very rare dreams because I only sleep for like 2-3 hours a night. But while
Tell
I'm
me about
fucking
it, brother.
sleeping, I have sometimes, not every night, but I have some fucking strange dreams. Now I have this fucking
Oh, dude, we can go on a trip.
yeah, like I have this fucking bed of fish in this fucking tank, and he's like, dude, I need my water clean. And the fish is like talking to me in my sleep, but then the fish turns into like Tinkerbell. Remember Tinkerbell from Hook?
Of course.
Yeah, but she's,
That
you
was-
know,
who was that?
underwater.
That was Julia.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. That's right.
She's in the water and she's in her little fucking Tinkerbell outfit and she's like banging on the glass and she's like, let me out. And I'm like, you're gonna fucking die. And she's like, let me out. And I'm like, you're gonna die. Don't break the glass. And so like I'm running around trying to find another fucking tank to put this fucking Tinkerbell in. And she winds up pulling out this like crystal dagger and busts open the bottom. Basically destroys the bottom of this fucking fish tank. Water goes everywhere. I don't know where the fuck she went. She must have died. And then there's this fucking bird that's got like a cockatoo head with a vulture body, and I'm trying to get people to fucking look at it.
It's a cockavulture.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck, dude. It was a cock of something, but I'm trying to get people to see what I'm seeing, and no one wants to fucking see it. Meanwhile, I'm trying to set up another tank so I can put my betta fish in and find this fucking Tinkerbell and put that fucker in. Dude, it just fucked up. Wake up. Like I said, barely. This is like a 5-minute dream. I wake up and I'm just like, God damn, what the hell happened?
Well, dude, the fucking dreams wear me out because I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I'm fucking building a fucking downhill like bobsled racer with my ex-landlord.
Dude, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I'll have dreams that are like literally a 5-minute span where I've worked a full day of work and then my alarm goes off and I have to go to fucking work.
What would be like one of your craziest dreams, dude? Craziest dreams.
Really don't want to get into those demons. I got some fucked up shit brewing in the Swiggin factory.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
So,
like,
what are your favorite memories from the '90s? If you can like capture anything from the '90s that you'd want to relive again.
Oh, dude, that's actually really cool. Because like I remember, I don't think you were there, but I bought a little purple light bulb that was supposed to be a black light.
Okay.
And I screwed it into my bedroom. You remember my house on Bryant Street?
Oh, fucking dude! It was like my second home. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, like it was in my bedroom, and like I screwed it up into the light, and my dad was having a party, and it was like no kids allowed. But all the kids from the party had to go into my bedroom. So I was like, all right. So I remember like having this light in the ceiling, and I'm like, oh, God, man, I got a black light. And we were all just like hanging out like, yeah, it's purple in here.
It's purple, it's not black.
Like, I remember that very well. Like, yeah, it's purple. And then me and Chad, you know Chad.
Of course.
We bought some weed, and
marijuana.
We went for a bike ride, and found this little secluded place and started smoking it. And we found out it was fucking purple Kush.
Ooh, do you remember when we used to smoke that dirt weed? It had all kinds of fucking stems and seeds in it, and that shit would pop every time you fucking took a hit.
It's like hippie grenades, man. Hippie grenades.
Seriously?
Someone explained to me the difference of regular marijuana and purple Kush.
It's a difference.
It's a different high.
Oh, okay.
You could hit one time and be okay. You could hit the other one time and be pretty blitzed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, oh my God, guys, I wish I could explain to you right now. Like, I have this, like, okay, speaking of the Oasis, like, my studio is completely empty right now. It's just me.
All right.
But I've caught myself more than once looking at the 2 empty chairs in my studio, talking to you guys individually.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Legit, I've done that. Like, I've like designated like fucking Swiggin sitting over there and Bears is sitting over there, and I'm talking to you that way.
It's second nature. It's natural.
Right. It's natural. Grown up to look at people when they talk, you know.
Oh
yeah, but like the one thing I was gonna bring up, Bears, is like if you get like some Mexican merch, it's not a derogatory term. It's Mexican merch.
Just fucking dirt weed, man.
Yeah,
Literally what it is. Because when you smoke it, you feel like you inhaled dirt.
Dirt. But it's like
I can envision that. Okay.
It's about 4 to 3% THC. What you get from a dispensary today is about 70% THC.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's
all right.
completely different.
It's like I have a headache or I have a coma.
Right? I'm going to sleep or I'm worrying about my brain right now.
Like my head's gonna explode.
Jesus.
Yeah. Have you Bears, have you ever had an edible?
I've made her some cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. You remember the time we made cookies? You remember that?
Yup, and everybody was high for like 24 hours. I remember my older sister Jennifer,
Sarah and
Jennifer, who is a well-educated pot smoker.
Hell yeah.
We were novices compared to her, and she was fucked up for a solid 24 hours. I was like, I know I done good.
I remember when when I left that night, she told me to go to the Bat Cave, dude.
Dude, she stared at an infomercial for the longest time, just sunken into the couch. She's like, I'm so hungry, but I can't get up.
The worst part of that day is like I think those cookies gave me the munchies. So I was like, hey, there's cookies.
There's more.
So I was like, I'm there's cookie. Oh, okay.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Here I am making cookies for the fucking first time, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. Just made some fucking.
We got lit. Man.
Pour down the whole fucking jar in the butter. Jesus.
But it was just weird because it was such. It wasn't like a crazy high where you were freaking out, but you were just that perfect stoned. Like it was
the
just
mellow.
Yeah, that just never went away.
Dude. Do you remember the time we got busted by your mom making a bong at a fucking 5-gallon
water
Oh my god.
Yep. She fucking rolled the blinds back and was like, God damn it! You owe me $5 for that deposit.
Oh, was it one of those rented bottles?
Yeah, because we got it from the water guy.
we
the
basically
sparklers.
took it. We basically found a tube that perfectly fit like a one hitter that I had, and then made it into the downstem of this bomb.
Oh my gosh!
and then Ronnie fucking had this like drill that made like the perfect size hole. And we put it in.
Trying to clear that thing was endless.
Oh my god.
And then us, like dumbasses, we
were stoned, man. We were stoned.
But remember how I got into that garage room where she saw us? All right, I built this fucking entertainment center that was going to take up the whole wall of my bedroom in the house, right?
Yeah, it was going to hold my
It was going to hold my TV, it was going to hold my stereo, speakers, like everything. Well, when I first initially started building that thing, I was fucking high. Mm-hmm. And so when I took the measurements, I took the measurements of inside the bedroom.
Oh.
Not of, is this shit going to fit down the hallway?
Right.
So after I built this fucking thing,
I'm over here fucking laughing.
Dude, remember when I fucking painted that thing where I was all high off paint fumes and shit?
I remember you came outside, and your fucking eyes were spinning.
I was like fucking Joe Dirt when he was in the bug bomb house and shit.
I can see down your shirt.
Dude, oh my god. And then it was you, and then I think fucking Courtney was there, and she was just dying. Like, what's wrong with this dude?
That's a whole other story, man.
But yeah, long story short, I couldn't fit that entertainment center into the fucking room, so
I
got
pissed. Your mom was like, go live in the garage.
Well, no, that wasn't even what happened. I got pissed, and you were like, dude, calm down, let's smoke a bowl. So I smoke a bowl, and I'm like doing more measurements, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm living in the garage.
That's how it went.
And in one night, I went from living inside to living in the garage.
Just because your entertainment stand wouldn't fit?
I was cutting chunks off of that thing, trying to fit it down the hall with a saw, and it still wouldn't fit. So I gave up. And
he had it hooked up, you guys. He had it hooked up.
I was like, fuck it, let him live in the garage. No AC, no fucking heater. I'm living in the garage.
Well, that was one of the nights where you went, oh dude, oh my god, story time. Like it was like one of the first nights or second nights you were in the garage, and like I came over, and like we were drinking Hornitos. He's laughing because he knows I'm gonna. We're like I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna go home. And like I get on my bike, and then he ended up walking me home.
He was pedaling his bike, and I was holding the handlebars the whole time he went home. It was
And
like he was on.
I put a flower in my pocket. Remember that?
Yeah. But I remember you trying to pedal your bike, but I was pretty much holding the handlebars and walked you home, but you were on your bike.
Well, like I got on the bike and tried to start pedaling, and I fell over. And fucking, he's like, "No, dude, no," because we lived like a 5-minute walk from each other, and he's like, "No, dude, no." And I remember waking up with a flower in my pocket, and I woke up and like went outside, like my fucking bike got stolen. I was like, "No, I took it home, dude." Like, and it's like, "What's this flower from?" I was like, "You fucking picked it." I was like, maybe that's why I don't drink Hornitos anymore, dude. Like legit, dude, legit.
I remember you telling me how beautiful the stars were that night. You went on and on about how beautiful
it's
the
so
stars
pretty,
were.
man. Oh, and I remember at that particular time being all super scared of Chupacabra. Don't laugh. Yeah, laugh.
It's gonna get me. I was like, I'm right here, man. Don't worry.
Let me stop to pick a
gonna
flower.
take
It's
us
fine.
both.
Well, I remember about that age, because like I said, we lived like a 5-minute walk from each other, and when I was like, "All right, buddy, I'm gonna go home," and I would literally fucking marathon sprint to my house because of Chupacabra.
Just fucking
I hit that fucking pavement running every fucking time I left Ronnie's house.
like fucking Forrest Gump leaves his house and shit.
Running.
It's like that feeling when you're in a fucking pool and you think a shark's gonna get you.
Even worse, man.
By yourself, it's like, it's gonna get me.
You guys should have seen me in a pool and it was by myself. It was fucking like a paraplegic, like splashing, like it was out of control. But I remember, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I remember like right when you moved into your garage, like I went home and my dad was like, "Okay, you have to be home by this time, or I'm locking the door." And I get there,
that all the time.
the door was locked.
Yep.
And I walked back and I slept on the floor of the garage.
There was a lot of nights where he would go home, and then he would come right back. And I'm like, "Dude, what happened?" You're
Curfew,
like,
too
"Fucking
late."
door's locked, man." And I'm like, "Well, come on in."
Right.
My dad did that to me all the time. He's like, "If you're not home by then," I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
But I would like totally ignore the time.
Yeah,
Right.
especially
And-
once he put that fucking the metal door with the fucking deadbolt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was access denied.
Because I only had the key to the wooden door.
Yep.
And if I didn't, and here's a weird thing: my dad used to sleep on the fucking couch in the
Yeah,
living room.
so he was right there.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, and his whole reasoning was like, "Oh, I'm afraid of fire." Like, oh, okay, but like,
Should have lit a fire outside the window.
yeah.
Let me
But
in.
But if I wasn't home by 10 o'clock, I was here. I'm an 80s child. If I wasn't home by 8 o'clock, I was locked out.
Yep.
Yeah, like that. How many times, Swiggin? How many times?
Dude, more than I could count.
Yeah,
Like, there were so many times, like I said, you'd be like, "All right, going home," and then you'd come right back.
Like, yeah, I can't open the door.
Yep.
And, and we didn't have cell phones at the time. It's not like I could fucking call him.
Right.
Yeah, he just locked me out. I mean, like, that's the whole thing. Like, now here in, like, this decade, if you did that, you go to jail.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And the thing is, like, who would I call at that point?
Right.
Any fucking 15-year-old now has a fucking cell phone.
Yeah.
But at that point in the 90s, who am I going to call? Like, the cops are going to be like, "You should have been home."
Exactly.
You
That
should
was
have
that
followed the
whole
rules,
fucking,
kid.
"It's 8 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?" Like, yeah. It was that whole fucking bullshit.
I mean, I
Right.
kind of relate, but, my parents wouldn't do it like, "Hey, there's a curfew." My parents would just fucking lock the door, and if I was outside and they were the only ones home, they weren't opening that door for me.
They weren't hearing shit. You can fucking throw a grenade at the front door. They wouldn't even know what happened.
Yeah. I became pretty good friends with my neighbors.
Yep. So
Bears, I've never asked you how old or what year were you? Let's just say what year were you born?
92.
92. Okay, so you're there with us. You were there.
yeah,
with
but
us.
that's the whole thing. That's why we do this whole '90s podcast, because it's like the perspective of somebody who lived through it and who was born in it. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Because it's
yeah.
like if you went back to the '80s, like I was born in the '80s, but I lived through the '90s. You know what I'm saying?
I was raised by fire.
There you go. But yeah, and she also had older.
I just never thought to ask.
She had older siblings too. So, I mean, we're fucking a decade apart, me and her. So she's my fountain of youth. She's the only thing keeping me ticking right now. I'm
one of the things I recently saw is like she's got a very solid understanding of Pokemon, and I've never got into that.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, I love that shit, man.
I love that shit, man. What was your favorite game?
Like ever?
Yeah, Pokemon game.
Oh, Yellow for sure, hands down.
What does that mean?
So Pokemon Yellow is like basically it was the last of the first generation games, except they changed it a little bit, and Pikachu, he would follow around your little character behind you, like he would follow you everywhere you went, and you could turn around, you could talk to Pikachu, and his little face would come up in the screen, and it'd make like like facial expressions and shit, and you can tell if he was happy or sad or excited, whatever. It was just fucking adorable, man. And I mean, Pikachu's my favorite, so.
Did you see the most recent movie?
Oh yeah, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, we watched that opening weekend. We went? Yeah, I took my youngest London to that, and I took her, and yeah, we both loved it. I don't like Pokemon, and it was still like I can wrap my brain around the movie and enjoy the movie. It was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went and saw it with my ex, and I enjoyed it. The thing is, I was never like a Pokemon person.
Oh,
but
yeah, me too.
But it made me understand like what it is.
Yeah, like it wasn't hard to grasp what was going on. Like I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw the mechanic the whole time. Like, okay, yeah, this is a person stuck inside a fucking Pikachu, because all the rest of them can't say anything other than Pikachu.
Right. So, Mr. Rufus, if you could go back in time to any year of the decade of the 90s, where would you go?
See, that's a solid fucking question. Would I have influence on anything to change anything?
Sure, whatever you want to do.
So, big thing for me is I'd probably have to go back to like 91, 92, and kind of
golden years.
Yeah, and like talk to myself and be like, don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. I know, you always think of that now. You're like, you see adults when you're a kid and they talk to you like, hey man, don't do this, don't do that, and you think they're being fucking stupid, they don't know what they're talking about, and then you get older and you're like, god damn, the motherfucker was right.
Yeah, it's like listen to what your mom and dad say,
right,
and don't be an asshole.
Exactly.
Like, I myself, like, the long and the short of it, I'm fucking mentally fucked up. But like, it's
preaching
like
to the choir.
Say it again.
Preaching to the choir here.
Preaching to the choir. Preach. But like, maybe if I like, the honest answer is like, if I had the knowledge I have now, I would go back to myself and kind of like lay stuff out, and
right.
like don't do this, don't do that.
Basically, learn from your mistakes and teach your younger self.
But I mean, if you didn't even listen to your parents, right? What's the likelihood of you listening to yourself?
Exactly.
Surprise! Oh my god, guys! I still keep looking at empty chairs. I keep doing it.
It's all right.
Like, I'm telling you, like, literally, like, Sarah Bears, when you talked right now, I was like, I looked over to the chair, like, I was like addressing you right now.
Right, we're there in spirit, man.
You got your avatars are here, but like the big thing is like, if you think about this for a second, if you yourself was able to go back and talk to yourself, how seriously would you take it?
None.
Think about that. Really?
If I hit myself with some fucking super shit that only my young self would have known, at that time. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're young, you know.
Well, you make a point. You'd have to make it valid. You
Exactly.
have to be like, I know what I'm talking
There's
about.
a lot of shit when you're a young kid that you don't tell anybody else. So if somebody comes to you knowing that knowledge
I touch myself 5 times a day.
There you go. Exactly. You're like, hey,
Well, I'm just making a point.
you were at Keith's house and you jerked off with cherry chapstick. I'll be like,
There
what
you
the
go.
fuck?
And then you'd have to be like, oh.
I'll be like, okay. Yeah. He had a blanket over his window, so I know you couldn't have seen me, so okay. Let's talk.
I still don't think that changes the aspect of whether or not you would listen to the advice that you were just given.
If somebody hit me with knowledge like that, I would listen.
Well, it speaks to maturity at that point, is what she's saying.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, ignored your parents, you know?
Oh, here's a better way to phrase my question. Like, if you had your future self come to you having 100% knowledge, would you listen or be ignorant? Would you listen, or would you be like, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about? And like, the future is not set.
Honestly, for myself, I would have fucking brushed it off like, motherfucker, like, you don't know me, blah,
Who
blah,
are you,
blah.
man? Who are you?
Exactly. But once that conversation ended and I stepped away, I'd be like, what the fuck? This dude knows me. Then that's when it would sink in. Like, I'd put up the front, but at the same time be like, oh, that was weird. Like, I better listen.
Well, that's an interesting thing is like, imagine like somebody, put it in your brain for a second, like somebody from the future, and they're talking to you and they hit a point that fucking hits you, like, this happened. Like, there's no way to like deny this happened, and they hit a point.
Right.
Like, would you like take a second and?
Oh yeah, if there was no undeniable facts, like, I'd be like, okay, like, it would have to sink in.
Yeah, it would have to.
You'd have to accept it.
Yeah, because it's not like it's fucking Star Trek or anything.
Exactly. No, if they're hitting you with enough knowledge to where you're like, okay, this shit is legit, like, you'd have to fucking accept it.
Yeah,
you accept that it's happening, but whether or not you choose to follow through with what advice they give you is a whole nother question.
Was that fucking dramatic where someone came through and started spitting all this shit at you? Like, it would eventually sink in to where you're like, okay, shit is fucking really weird, but I really have to accept what's happening right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. I don't know.
Sarah?
I'd like to say that I would follow, whatever advice I was giving myself, but just because I know I ignored many of advice, I can't say that I would have followed it. Like,
it just depends on how it was presented.
Bears, can I give you like a really funny thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, so I have 3 seats in my studio, and on the second seat I have a large action figure of a Sakyo Jimbo. Do you know who that is?
I don't think so, no.
Well, Ron, show her a picture later.
Okay.
But like, I have a large action figure of Sakyo Jimbo. For some reason, every time you talk, I look at it. I'm like that. It's just because it's like right in front of the right in front of the chair there. But like, so I'm associating you now with the Sakyo Jimbo. So yeah, that's my new nickname for you. You're Saki.
Okay.
But but like legit, like I can't even tell you how many times tonight like you've been talking, and like, because I'm sitting in the studio by myself for like the first time. And like, I look over and I see this big ass action figure. I'm like, okay, that's Sarah Bears.
Shit. All right, last question of the evening, sir.
Alrighty.
Do you remember how we met?
Dude, I don't. Dude, oh my god.
There was a little place where we
almost
gained
30 years ago.
Okay, but there was a building that we gained knowledge and learnagement from.
Oh, I know where you guys met.
She knows. I've told Bears the story.
Is this Lineweaver?
No, your mom used to work there.
Yeah, she did.
Your mom used to work at this place.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
You
It was
broke
it was
your wrist at this
I
place.
did because they fucking locked me in a fucking chest. Up with Children.
It was a daycare.
Yeah, it was called Up with Children.
Yeah, do you know that place right now? It fucking saddens me. I drove by there probably like a month ago. That place is for sale.
I
It
ride
is
by it.
not-
I ride by it every day, dude.
It's
I ride
not
by it
even
every
a
day.
fucking place of business and or a fucking kindergarten anymore. It's not a
You know-
child care place anymore.
You know what makes me laugh? Speaking of this scenario, is we created superhero characters for ourselves,
Uh-huh.
and we hung out like in that alleyway,
Mhm.
and then like we went
Yeah,
down
remember
to
my house that was directly connected to that? I was like one house over, and there was my fucking duplex.
We got in trouble for getting up on the roof.
Getting up on the roof, we tormented my fucking snuggle stuffed animal at that place. You broke your wrist. Like,
That's right.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
Good time. That's 30 years ago, man.
So
30
long
fucking
ago.
years ago. Yeah, I remember. Do you remember? We had our costumes on from like our superhero characters that we made, and we were standing in front of our yard, and this guy like pulled up, and like we took like this superhero pose, and this guy got out of his car and like took a superhero pose.
Yeah, we posted up on him. Dude jumped out, posted up on us, and then he rolled out.
What the
That was badass.
We fucking stood our ground. He stood his ground, and then dipped out.
How many kids have that story, man? Like we legit, like I remember us, like we were like maybe 10, 11. Like, let's be superheroes, dude. Let's be superheroes. And like we made costumes.
We
dude.
did. Remember when fucking Power Rangers first rolled out, and we were fucking
Yeah.
running around fucking Lineweaver School Grounds like
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Mastodon, fucking morphing and
Tiger
shit.
Sword.
I remember when we were even younger than that, we used to just run around and pretend to be like animals and shit. Like,
Right,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
a fucking tiger right now, and I'm like, yeah, well,
Like, I'm a fucking velociraptor.
exactly.
Fuck you.
And you'd fucking cock your arms back and start running around like a fucking animal or a dinosaur.
That's the 90s, man. That's the 90s. Fucking kids don't do that anymore.
Fuck no, everybody's
Kids
caught
don't
in
do
their
that anymore.
phones. They're like, I got my fucking app. I'll just play a game.
I'll be a real dinosaur.
I'm gonna log into the Oasis.
Seriously.
You know, like,
Yeah, and that's
like-
what's a trip, because now even like now that I have kids, like my oldest, he's 15.
how old is London now?
Well, my oldest Ronald is 15. My
Oh my
youngest is
God,
9,
dude.
pushing 10. But the thing is, it's just they're two completely different individuals. It's so crazy. Like
Oh my god.
my youngest has a super duper fucking elaborate imagination. Like
Yeah.
I did when I was little, or me and you did, where we can just, pretend.
We fed off each other, man.
Yeah, where
We
you can
fed
just
off-
pretend and just, immerse yourself into whatever scenario and shit. And my oldest is completely different from that. It's so crazy, man.
Dude,
It's
I have
crazy.
this really random memory of when we were hanging out at your old duplex, and my dad bought me the cartridge for F-Zero.
Okay, yeah.
You remember that?
Oh yeah, on the
and
Super
I,
Nintendo.
and I brought it over and we plugged it in, and like we were like, oh my god, and then you got Mortal Kombat, I think.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like so we do F-Zero, then Mortal Kombat, and like I remember like, oh dude, you remember when we used to go fucking ding dong ditching?
Yep, and we'd fucking like ding dong someone's fucking door and hide in their bush that was like 6 feet away from the door.
Yep. And people, I remember doing that when I was younger. People always had the most confused look, like we fucking teleported or some shit out of there.
Yeah.
Swiggin's house was like on this exact street to where like we could just fuuld disappear.
Oh yeah,
We could just disappear.
That's the thing. In our neighborhood, there's like 2 street lights.
Yeah.
So everything I am the night, because there was nothing but
I
darkness
am
everywhere. If someone didn't have their porch light on, they weren't going to see you.
Right.
I'm gone. Like, and then, dude, you remember that one Halloween we were all like smashing pumpkins and shit.
Yep, and we kicked the pumpkin into that guy's house, and he grabbed you by the back of the shirt.
Yeah, dude, 'cause I was a fucking 15-year-old.
Yep.
Full sprint, and this guy grabbed me,
got
dude.
you, and then we all fucking surrounded that fucking dude, and he was just like,
I think you told that story.
Yeah, I told that story, and then he just let you go.
Don't do it again.
Exactly.
Don't do it again.
As soon as we all surrounded him, he was like, I'm gonna get fucked up. So he just let you go.
Well, I remember we walked up to the door, and you fucking kicked that pumpkin.
Right into his fucking living room couch, man.
Boom! Hit the door, and then we just all poo. We were gone, man. We were fucking gone.
I just remember fucking Keith going,
I was
guys,
like, stop,
guys.
Stop, guys. he's got me.
And that dude was so pissed, but once we surround him, his fucking face turned.
Yeah, there's
completely
6 or 7 of us. There
Oh,
was
yeah.
6 or 7 of us. And he's like, call your friends back. I'm like, guys. And everybody came back, and then he got surrounded. He's like, okay,
just don't do that anymore, and
don't do
fucking
that
took
anymore.
off.
Dude must have been quick though.
Oh yeah, he was fast. Because we had a head start, and he grabbed fucking Keith.
Yeah, I was at a full sprint, and homeboys were in front of me. They were gone, and I was like, fucking literally, if you guys can imagine, listeners out there, wrist to ears, wrist to ears, wrist to ears, wrist to ears, and like just fucking, and then I fucking get grabbed, and like so this dude was like, he was like on point or something, like he was waiting for it to happen, like he literally like hit, like he heard this happen, he's like, okay, game on. But you know, like I fucking flew, I flew, and like I was like, guys, come, oh man. And then fucking everybody came back, which I was surprised. Like, fucking everybody, he's like, "You guys, blah blah blah, you don't do that anymore." And then he got all surrounded and like, "All right, sir, we won't do it again." He's like, "All right, better not."
And just fucking took off. Yeah, dude, fucking. All right, before we end this podcast here, let's end this off with another little funny little tidbit. Do you
lean
remember?
Back.
Do you remember your dad's porn collection?
Oh my god,
the
dude,
VHS collection.
That was like our golden stash for a long
Good
time.
lord!
Is that not weird to just come across your parents' like porn collection?
No.
Well, no.
Well, no.
You don't think about that at the time. You're like, this isn't at the store. It's here.
Your dad's at work. You find a stack, and you're like, "Oh, I got a heart on.
Right? I'm gonna take care of this."
Okay, I don't mean like at the moment
Okay.
though, like, but as a full man child now, you know, whatever you guys
No,
are.
like I'm sorry to tell you, but myself and Swiggin have a fucking porn stash,
Dude.
It's
I mean, no, that's fine. But is it not weird to know what your dad used to jack off to? Like,
but it's the same. It's the
You
same
don't think
thing.
about it like that. You're thinking about what you're jacking off to.
Here's the thing. All dudes are triggered at least very similarly. We'll put it that way.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, what if your dad has like some super crazy out there fetish and you've never really thought about it?
It doesn't matter because when you're that young and you have a boner,
You're like,
you gotta press it against something and deal with it. You're not thinking about that. That is farthest from your morals
I'm not
are
talking
out
about
the window.
when you're 10, though. I'm talking about now.
Okay.
No. We were like 15.
Exactly.
We were like 15.
But even then, like morals were out the window. You weren't thinking about that. You were thinking about how you were gonna get that release.
Right.
They're like, I remember so vividly. You and
I.
I remember
that?
so vividly. You and I went to we were just like right after being 18. We went to the Bunny Ranch. Not the Bunny Ranch, the porn store next to it. You remember what I'm talking about?
Fascinations? No, not Fascinations. It's the one over on Speedway. And
That little blue shop? That weird blue shop?
Yeah, the weird blue shop I bought the pocket pussy from.
Yeah. Like, and so like I bought this barely 18 book, so where it was like a bunch of like random tiny little pictures. Like there was nothing that was like that was congruitive to like any of the other pictures. And I remember so vividly, like I showed Swiggin, and I was like, check this out. He's like, this is one of the ones where like, and he like made this like motion with his hand, like this is one of the ones where you look at all the pictures and you just scan all over. I remember that very well. He's like, this is one where you don't look at anything in particular. You're just like,
dude, remember I brought that pocket pussy from that
oh
place?
my god!
And
oh my
then
god!
I was done with it, so I was like, "Do you want this?" And you were like, "No," and you were like, "You use it," and I was like, "I don't care. I'll put it in the dishwasher." So I fucking put it in the dishwasher.
Your turn.
Your turn.
Oh, so gross. That was nasty.
Oh, that makes me laugh.
Jesus Christ, that's hilarious.
That's the fucking 90s for you, son.
Seriously.
your turn.
Are you sure? Yeah, man, it was in the dishwasher. It's all good.
Right? It's been sanitized.
It got over 190 degrees.
So gross. Ron's over here fucking dying.
Oh, well, yeah. Because that fucking shit happened.
Right? And I'm sure we're not the only ones. I'm sure there's thousands of other people that had the same scenario. Oh, God, that's hilarious.
God, guys, I love you both.
Oh, man. Well, fuck, man. We might have to cap this out.
All right, brother.
Oh,
well,
man.
Thanks for recording with me, man.
Oh, no problem, man. Like I said,
well, and for the listeners out there, this is gonna go out on 90s Nostalgics, and then I'm gonna after it's put up, I'm gonna copy it and put it on Nerdy Bones. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Nerdy Bones podcast.
That's right.
Well,
Too bad I couldn't have Nick here. He wouldn't have had this.
He wouldn't know what to fucking say, man.
He'd be like,
little
what?
bashful bandit.
He's like, I don't masturbate.
Touch my phallus? What? Oh, God.
All right, well, like in closing, love you guys. Oh, it was awesome to do this.
Love you too, man. We'll do it again soon.
And I'm so glad, like, we spent like an hour figuring out how to like connect this shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll sound at least 10 times better than the last one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That one was yeah.
That was
But,
yeah. It still worked out though. It was audible.
But at least we got it figured out now.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
and real quick before we end the episode, I'm gonna be Nerdy Bones. Bruce Savone is going to be recording with the Confessionals this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
So check that out.
Check that shit out. So this Saturday would be what date?
The 27th.
So January 27th. Of the year of our July 27th.
This year of our Lord.
The year of our Lord 2019. All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.